Hi, my name is Domenic Carosa, founder and chairman of Hivello. With me today, I have Andrew Smith, our co-founder and CEO. We'll be sharing some more information around IoT, around our business Hivello, and talking more about our upcoming capital raise. Over to you, Andrew.
Thank you, Domenic. Hi, I'm Andrew Smith, and I'm the CEO and co-founder here at Hivello. As Domenic mentioned, Hivello is building a network of hotspots connected to the Helium IoT network. Essentially, we work with individuals and companies and place hotspots at these locations. So for individuals, it's houses, apartment buildings, and for businesses, we're talking cell phone tower operators, real estate holders, property managers. And this helps build coverage for the Helium network. Next slide. And the Helium network is essentially a decentralized Internet of Things network. And some of the most important use cases right now is with smart devices. So smart devices have enormous use right now in terms of industry, smart cities, buildings and energy management, digital health, and even down to Lime scooters that you see on the street are connected to the Helium network, Helium IoT network. By 2025, it's estimated that 24.5 billion devices will be connected to the Internet of Things network. And so we see enormous opportunity in this space to help build and grow out one of the world's fastest growing networks. And you might ask, why IoT and why Helium versus other technologies such as cellular? Helium has enormous advantages in terms of the cost, in terms of power usage, in terms of distance that signals can be propagated over. So Helium makes a lot more sense when it comes to large-scale deployments in hard-to-reach places, and deployments where battery life is important. The network itself has just hit 900,000 hotspots in over 65,000 cities around the world. And Helium essentially is a decentralized global network made up of a blockchain. And the blockchain records all of the network activity. It has algorithms called proof of coverage to validate that those hotspots are actually there, and has a native token, H&T, which is used as a transactional tool across the network. To give you an overview of Hivello and where we're currently at, we're in just over 12 or 13 countries around the European market, and we're looking to expand throughout the rest of Europe, as well as into Africa, LATAM, and Asia Pacific. And we're targeting locations where we have identified the highest yield can be achieved on site. Our business model is made up of three different sections. So our B2C business model is where we place devices with consumers, and we pay a revenue share with the end consumer for providing the location and internet and power coverage. With businesses, it's more of a traditional lease arrangement, where we are identifying these locations and signing long-term leases with these businesses. And finally, our partner program, which incentivizes existing Hivello customers to introduce new customers into the Hivello network.
Thanks, Andrew. And I think part of adding here, and we've spoken about IoT, we've spoken the fact that Helium is building out an IoT network. It's the largest wireless network anywhere in the world. And what was announced only about a month or so ago is that building on top of the Helium decentralized network will be new products like 5G mobile hubs and other devices that monitor, weather, pollution. So effectively what we're doing at Hivello is building out points of presence, physical points of presence that allow for decentralized networks to be expanded. And the reason we're focused on Europe is that we see significant opportunity. There's plenty of green spaces available in Europe, effectively untouched opportunity, and so that's the rationale for focusing on the European marketplace. And over to you, Andrew.
Sure. So just wanted to take you through what our advantage is here at Hivello. The reason that we believe we'll be number one in this space is firstly, our proprietary data science platform that we've built in-house, which helps us identify locations with the highest yield in terms of building the Helium network. Our relationships with our supply chain and particularly our hotspot vendor manufacturers, our technology stack, which streamlines our business operations, and so we can deploy units as fast as possible. And our focus, as Domenic mentioned, on markets such as Europe, LATAM, Africa, where we see currently greenfield opportunities gapped in the marketplace in terms of coverage. To give you an example of how our devices are deployed, there's some photographs here of how it looks in a tower, a cell phone tower on a rooftop and attached to a consumer's balcony.
Yeah, and typically, just to provide some sort of financial vigor around this, part of our data science platform and where we locate the particular hotspots, we anticipate payback anywhere from 6 to 18 months. The useful lifespan of this particular equipment is anywhere from 5 to 6 years. So you can see as time goes on, it can become highly profitable. There's a couple of advantages. Over to you, Andrew.
Sure. So one of our advantages is how fast we can deploy devices compared to the general Helium market at the moment. What we're doing is looking at how our pre-sale environment goes. So identifying our growth markets with our data science platform. How quickly can we onboard users and onboard locations? How fast we can deliver packages to our customers, and also how we can optimize the locations once they're been deployed.
In terms of the team, this is obviously wouldn't be possible without bringing together a team. As previously mentioned, I'm also the founder and chairman of TSX listed Banxa, and personally invest in over 50 technology-based companies through my personal fund. We have Andrew, one of our co-founders. He was also the co-founder and director of the EU operations of Banxa, being involved with Banxa from early 2014, and exited the business recently as a TSX listed fintech. And then we've got Tristan, who's our co-founder and technical manager, who's been in the Helium space for many years. We also have Randall, who heads our emerging markets, particularly around Africa and LATAM. He's actually one of the co-founders of Emirate, who is a company doing some similar things in the US. So he brings across a lot of key learnings. We have John, who heads our B2B partnerships. He's got over 20 years of experience in telco and IT, and he's helping do the deals with the mobile carriers. And then we have Justin Rosenberg, who's our CFO, 20 years of experience as an advisor and working with startups both across the ASX, Australian Securities Exchange, and as well as the TSX. In June, we actually executed a deal with DLTx. DLTx is listed in Norway on the Norwegian Stock Exchange, and they're really leaders in the whole layer one blockchain environment. They're very strong in Bitcoin mining, in Filecoin mining, and now in Helium IoT mining as well. And they really bring that experience around hardware as well as capital raising experience. And so they'll be basically adding some of their people to the team in helping grow the Hivello business. As mentioned, they're actually one of the most experienced teams in the business when it comes to layer one as well as they've got significant experience in hardware. And the long-term strategy is to have one hotspot device that does IoT on the Helium network. It does 5G. It does a decentralized VPN, virtual private network, a decentralized Filecoin type platform, effectively CDN, effectively bringing content as close to the customer as possible. So we're really able to leverage their expertise as part of this Hivello business. And in terms of joining the team is a gentleman called Simon Campbell, who's a director and advisor, and he's scaled multiple businesses before and has sold a number of his companies as well. We have Jane, who heads our IR and is an advisor, and Jonathan, who's helping us with regards to strategic partnerships. In terms of the raise, we're raising up to $5 million US. 60% of that will be focused on hardware, on the actual hotspots, and the other 40% on sales and marketing and working capital. Our initial focus on the hardware, we're raising equity through a convertible note, and I'll talk more about that in a moment. Later on down the track, we expect that with some more history in the business, we'll actually be able to acquire the hardware using a line of credit or some kind of debt facility, because the equipment can effectively generate a yield. So we will be looking at non-dilutive ways of raising money, particularly from a hardware perspective. We've got a financial model, a full financial model that we're prepared. Our target is to have 40,000 hotspots deployed by December 2023. Our model over the next 18 months shows, based upon a H&T price of $10, an EBITDA of minus 700, and moving to positive 779 in calendar year 2023. And as you can see on this slide, significant sensitivity to the H&T, the helium price. And helium, for those that have been following, has been as high as $50. And so based upon $50 and rolling out our business plan, the business is expected to make an EBITDA of over $50 million in calendar year 2023. So, significant leverage in the model, obviously tied to helium and the other chains that we're going to be working on. So in terms of the raise structure, we're raising $5 million US through effectively a safe type agreement, or some of you would know it as a convertible note, or as I do in the UK, calling it an advanced subscription agreement. The valuation cap is 25 with a 20% discount at conversion and a 6% yield. So it's a fairly vanilla convertible note structure that most investors will have seen before. So really, in terms of the some of the key highlights, we're basically building out and corporatizing the rollout of IoT hotspots, which is one of the fastest growing wireless networks in the world. We've brought together a team with significant experience in terms of building this out, and at the same time, we've got significant market tailwinds with just shy of 25 billion IoT devices to be launched by 2025, which is really only just around the corner. And then obviously, significant leverage in the model, particularly around the H&T token price. And ultimately, we believe this will be a strong exit to a company in the hardware space, or for telcos looking to expand their wireless reach. At the same time, just to kind of sort of recap, our model and our business to date really just focuses on Europe. There is significant upside as we roll out in Africa, Latin America, and the Asia Pacific. At the same time, our model only relies on Helium IoT. But as for those of you that are sort of researching Helium and the ability to have a hotspot that does many things, we believe 5G, Filecoin storage, VPNs and CDNs will ultimately provide new revenue streams. So effectively having one box that does many, many things and effectively generates multiple coins and multiple revenue streams, and then ultimately leveraging our coins through staking. So these are effectively three things that are not in our financial model, but also provide significant upside. So really, in summary, I think we've got a fantastic team. We've got significant tailwinds in terms of the opportunity to build out this business. and we're looking forward to to sharing the journey with you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.